During a disaster, the first things that generally come in are water supplies and then meals that are ready to eat, MREs. And what you see here is the content of one meal. We'll start off over here. This is the home-style vegetable in sauce with noodles and chicken. So that's what's in this packet. Up above that, we have some sunflower butter with a multi-grain snack bread. Now, this most people won't like, but it tastes really good with this because the sunflower butter actually tastes like peanut butter. You get a banana apple smoothie. If you love baby food, this is right up your alley. It's just pretty much a pasty, a gooey paste, but it tastes pretty good. You get a cardboard sleeve, which will make sense in a moment. And then you get this little bag here, which has some elements. You see those 4 elements? And what you're gonna do is take your food pouch, insert it in here, and pour a little bit of water in it, and these elements will heat up, and they will get very hot, and they will heat up your food. Then this little cardboard sleeve is wrapped around this so that you don't burn yourself while it's heating up your food. And then of course they include a spoon, fork, napkins, and salt and pepper. Part of a nutritious meal. Now, while I was distributing supplies, there were people who said, I don't want MREs, I won't eat them. This one lady asked me about them, and I told her if I was asking you out on a date, I wouldn't offer you an MRE, but if we were in the midst of a disaster, I would offer you an MRE on our date. I'm going to take you through the process of prepping your first MRE. Tear here to use the bag. So you tear that open. You try to get the pouch opened up if you can. And then you're going to take the meal and you're just going to drop it in there. And it goes all the way down to the bottom. Now, you're gonna pour water to this level. If you put too much water, it's not gonna work for you. So just a little bit of water goes a long way. So I'm gonna go to the spigot and pour a little bit of water in here. Got water down here, and it's starting to heat up. You fold this over, get your little cardboard holder here, open it up, put the packet in there. You might want to close off the bottom. And it's already getting hot. I can feel it. And the reason you're going to fold it over is because you get steam and you don't want to get a steam burn, then because things are going to get really nasty if that happens. All right, so the packet is in there. The heating elements are on the back side of this bag. And so what you're going to do is kind of just prop it up against something. You don't want to lay it flat. You just want it at an angle. And I can already feel heat coming through. And without this piece of cardboard, you will get burned. So want to make sure that's in place and that this is folded. And then we just let this do its thing for about 12 to 15 minutes so that you have a nice hot meal. Now, if you don't want to heat up the meal, if you prefer just eating it cold, you can skip this whole step and just open that packet and start eating. One of the things that's in short supply, of course, is water, so you don't want to be wasting it. So it's unfortunate that they don't include a wet towelette to wash your hands before you eat, because you're going to be forced to use some of your drinking water unless somebody has some potable water somewhere that you can use. So, sort of a shortcoming of this particular MRE kit. I can't stress enough that this gets really hot, and while it's kind of just warm to the side on this end, it's very hot on the back. So just be careful. You don't want to burn yourself, especially when medical services are hard to come by and difficult to access. So I would suggest wearing a glove if you actually want to try picking this up, because otherwise you may burn yourself, and we don't want that. With gloves on, you can actually massage your meal to distribute the heat so you don't end up with cold spots. I'm not one to wait for the main course, so I'm going to start off with my snack bread. Basically, sort of like a Pop-Tart without the filling. And then I'm going to use my sunflower butter to give it some taste. And you know, if you're sensitive to the look of food, then MREs aren't quite for you. I should have mixed this up a little bit more. And normally I don't have to use my fingers. But I'm telling you, this tastes just like peanut butter. And this is the kind of thing that this piece of bread needs. Now, MREs are not something you buy for the look or the taste. You buy it because you need substance. And you're either out camping or in a dire situation. And for that, this is very acceptable, at least for me. Looks and taste aren't always great with MREs, but that's not what they're really for. Now that I've spoiled my appetite with the multigrain snack bread, I'm going to take the banana apple smoothie, and these have notches on the side. And it should be easy to tear off, but it's not. This was very difficult. Maybe it'd be nice if they came with a blade, or just it was a little easier to get into it. You squeeze this, and it kind of looks like the sunflower butter. It's kind of brown looking. It's a paste, but it's actually quite delicious. It's very reminiscent of baby food, and I enjoy it. Done with the smoothie. Now it's time for the main course. Take it out of the package. There's another place where we can tear, and this one is much easier than he said. Let's see, there we go. And that should allow you to take your meal out, and be careful because there's still hot water in here, so you want to dispose that in a safe place. And this water that's in here is not drinkable because it's chemically reacted with, I think it's magnesium that's in there. Anyway, so safely dispose that. But now we have a pouch that we can open. With my gloves on, I squish it up a little bit so that the hot spots get evenly distributed throughout the packet. And then the way we're going to eat this is there's a tear knockout there and one at this end, so you're just going to tear across. I like to push the food down a little bit, and then we're going to pull across the top. And if you've done it right, you should have a pouch, and there's your food. Don't bother looking at the colors. They're not really meant to be pleasing to the eyes. I mix it up so that whatever that color palette is, it mixes up. Smells like it might be vegetable with chicken in it. And so now we're going to have a taste. And they call it home style. I wouldn't serve this in my home, but I'm hungry. We are in a disaster, so I'm going to eat this today. By the way, if you or someone else in your family has special needs, gluten-free, or just can only eat certain food products, you're going to have to make sure you have those, because in a disaster, those aren't the kind of things that are going to be readily available. So you might want to stock up if you know there's a storm coming into your area, or just keep an extra supply in your pantry for those loved ones that need special types of foods. Otherwise, they're just going to have to deal with the consequences of what's being served, because sometimes this is the only stuff that's available. When you're done with your meal, you end up with a lot of plastic and very little that can be recycled, the label, the cardboard. But unfortunately, that's just one of the results of MREs. There's just a lot of waste product that then has to be dealt with after the fact. But at this point, the priority is getting nourishment into people that need it. So after watching this video, you may decide you never want to deal with MREs. Well, you do have other options. You could prepare food that have long shelf lives, canned goods, that kind of stuff. You can also buy camping food like this that's pre-dried, and all you have to do is add hot boiling water. The problem is, in an emergency, hot, clean water isn't always available, and that certainly was the case with Helene. We were out of water for a while, and then when it was available, it was a boil water type situation where you couldn't drink it unless you boiled it, but we didn't have power to run our electric ranges, so that wasn't an option for us. The MREs get around all that. You can eat them straight out of the package. If you want to warm them up, they do have a warming device, and you can just use dirty water to activate that. So having clean water is not a necessity to make these things work for you. But that's an option to consider. If you found this video interesting or useful, give us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment. Join the subscription team. And as always, thank you ever so much for watching.